Okay, so I'm going to do a small review of the workbench that is also temporarily a performance stage for my cat. This is a workbench that was from Lowe's. It's decked out with a bunch of different stickers and emblems and stuff from artists that I've bought, and some that I know. I have a huge addiction for stickers. Let me see here. What's some other stuff on this? I have a lot of tools stored here, some stuff that I'm working on currently, but I carry all my art supplies here. This is kind of my coffee container. I have a coffee maker here, cutting board for working on all kinds of stuff. Thanks for getting in the way of the production here, Luna. And then this over here is the custom made tool wall, and it's got all the stuff that I use normally labeled, all that other sort of stuff. So this is one corner of the studio. Moving on from my workbench, we're going to talk about my door. The door is extra wide to be able to bring in and pull out a lot of different things that I have, but I've only got a solitary hook on this. I know it's a little dorky talking about this, but this is some stuff I really enjoy. These are some custom-made safety goggles that I had gotten done a long time ago, and the name escapes me right now. I'm going to have to look that up and place that right here for you guys to read. I keep my work apron on here, but I also have this really interesting bit of artwork. I made it a point that my art studio was going to have stuff that was made by other artists that I really enjoyed and liked and admired in there. This is an original creation by Prop Sculptor. You can find him here on Etsy, and there's a lot of copies and recasts being done. He, though, does the first and original amazing versions of these things. This is all cast. This is a real doorknob. It does actually work and lock very well. Part 3 of this little studio tour includes this corner that I have where I made this from some stuff that I found at Hobby Lobby, which I don't support Hobby Lobby anymore, but at the time I thought it was pretty cool. These are all the badges of all the shows I've done over the years. Planet Comic-Con, Stealth Con, a lot of shows that don't even exist anymore, and all the way up to current ones. This is one of the coolest ones right here that I really liked. I thought this was really interesting. The show only happened one time. It was Geekmas. It wasn't the greatest show, but they were very nice people. And sometimes I keep these here as just kind of like a... Someday, actually, it was a hopeful idea to kind of do like a Mr. T-like character, but that wore, instead of gold chains, this around my neck the entire time at the show. And then I thought about the neck pain I was going to have doing that. Moving on from there in part 4, this is my 3-month planning calendar that I use for anything that I'm working on. I list out my jobs, how I invoice, codes on basically how and when I'm posting to social media, all that sort of stuff. But more important than that, well, more important than even this A-Wing and this Jedi starfighter that are sitting up here on my ceiling, I have inspirational quotes by people that I've admired and whose work has inspired me. They're not all artists, but they are all good people that try to do good things and would fire up my imagination. I also want to give a special shout out to this. This is one of my favorite little mini pieces of art. This is a sculpture, a sculpted piece of jewelry. Wow, talk about falling over my tongue, from my friend Kristen. And I love this thing, and I always look at it as an eye that's keeping me accountable. Moving on from the 3-day planner, we're coming down here to a really cool thing that I was gifted. So this used to actually house high explosives. This was a small shipping crate for it, and I use it to hold all of the inks that I use on my projects, and they fit beautifully on here. I love to repurpose stuff like this. I need to really get to some of these citadels. I just forgot I even had these things here, but this was one that it was a little rough, and I ended up just lightly rehydrating it with some oil and then sealing it, and it turned out really nice. Down here below, I've got these other smaller little shelf units. It's got jewelry that I make down here. These are some of the beaded things that I make, stuff like that. Just a little collection point for the nicks and knacks of my paints. Okay, so now moving from this back up to the ceiling. This is where I keep a collection of stickers that I'm starting to move down this way. But what this is, because I'm obsessed with whiteboards is a whiteboard concept that I put that'll fold back up into my ceiling. I keep my objectives, challenges, goals, and all these other things on there for myself. And then when I'm done, I can put this back up there, lock it in place, and it stays up there. I use a lot of whiteboards for a lot of my projects, so that way I have some accountability in what I'm doing. It wasn't that hard to install. This is actually just a door lock here, and these are some small hydraulic pins. It doesn't go all the way down. I kind of like that it kicks back up a little bit on me, but I do plan on adding a hook down here and a chain here to keep it steady whenever it's down. So moving over from the work area and whiteboards, I have my gigantic Tron poster, which glows in the dark. I got that whenever I bought the soundtrack when the movie came out. This is my voiceover station that I use to record whenever I have clients that need voiceover work, which is all connected back over here to my beautiful computer that was created by my buddy Matt from B Squared Computers. This is Digital Absinthe. It is the machine that gets all of my content creation going. That's my GameCube with a Game Boy Advance connected controller there. And then I have 3 monitors. This one here is just for playing games on, and for running my Apple TV, widescreen monitor, and my old school Cintiq Wacom tablet that a buddy of mine, Ryan, was kind enough to sell to me, and it is a wonderful workhorse. But this is this corner here, and then my Darth Maul and Transformers collectibles are up in that corner. Moving on from the computer, we're going to go over here to this really cool thing. This is from IKEA, but I wanted a storable cutting mat. This that could go on a piece of MDF with a pipe holder here. Slides away when I don't need it. And each one of these here just have some things that help me get through my my work day. All kinds of little things I can mess with, from dice to finger strengtheners to all these micro games and stuff that I have. Magic the Gathering cards, that sort of stuff. And keep my controller here for when I'm ready to play some PC games. All the rest of this is art supplies and some original art and things that I'm creating and working on down here. It's my buddy Jake Engle's sculptures. Amazing guy if you're not following him on Instagram. And then some more art supplies stored down here. It's really a whole bunch of just different organization that I've got going on there. Moving up from the art and gadget supply area is my main desk. I got this desk, this white original one, back when I was in high school. It was a gift from my parents, and then I ended up modifying it and adding an addition on. This is a 13 by 19 scanner that I have here, and then my over-the-top pencil sharpener, some watercolor sponges, and then back here is this is a pump, an air pump for my markers. I airbrush with my Copic markers. I'll probably do a demonstration on that later. This is a table that I used to use at conventions, and now I use it as a staging ground, so I can use the lighting setup up here to take photos from this camera mount, which is mounted into the ceiling up here.